What is the solution to that kind of feeling of just not enjoying your own space?
Because we have not looked at how human mechanism works. It is like you have a super sophisticated machine. This is the supercomputer. This is the machine which dripped supercomputers, isn't it?
Right.
I'm asking, have you read the user's manual? That's all it is. The entire yogic system is just this. This is not a philosophy, this is not an ideology, this is not a religion, this is not a teaching. This is just the user's manual, how your body should sit, how it must breathe, how the mind should be, how the emotion should be, how the energy should be, what are the things you can do with it, how should you keep it so that this will function at its highest possible level. See, the cell phone companies have been doing some research a few years ago and they found only 7% or only 3% of the people, no, 97% of the people are using only 7% of the cell phone's capability. We are not even talking about today's smartphones, we are talking about the dumb phones. So 97% of the people are using only 7% of a small gadget. If that is the fact, how much do you believe are people making use of this tremendous gadget? Just on the surface, because they never bothered to read the user's manual. If you tell them this, they say, Sadhguru, can you give us the user's manual? It's written into you, you have to spend some time with this. This was written by the source of creation, not by me or you, isn't it? You must learn to read. The problem is illiteracy. See, suppose you have not learned the alphabet. Well, you have learned English alphabet. Let's say I'll give you a Tamil book. You look at it, does it make any sense to you? You don't know the alphabet, it doesn't mean a thing to you because you do not know the alphabet. Now, this is the problem, that in today's society, in modern education, we have not even brought fundamental literacy towards how to read this book. Because we've never read this, by accident we are managing it. If you manage by accident, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. One moment you're happy, next moment you're miserable, one moment you're peaceful, another moment you're in turmoil. I was I'll cut the long story short. I was in Tel Aviv and somebody came and greeted me, Shalom. I said, what does that mean? He said, this is the highest way of greeting. I said, that's your opinion, but what does it mean? He said, no, this is really the highest way of greeting. I said, all right, but what does the word mean? He said, it means peace. Then I said, why is peace the highest way of greeting unless you're born in Middle East? In South India, you come up to me in the morning and say, peace. I will ask, what's wrong with you? I'm saying if you deprive yourself of something for a long time, suddenly it becomes godlike. If you've not eaten for 10 days, even if God appeared, what's the prayer? Food, of course. So, once you deprive yourself of fundamental things, I'm saying fundamental things because to be peaceful and joyful is not the ultimate goal of life. If you want to enjoy a meal, you must be peaceful and joyful. If you want to enjoy a friend, you must be peaceful and joyful. If you want to enjoy a walk on the street, you must be peaceful and joyful. If you want to enjoy simple things that you do in your life, you must be at least peaceful and joyful, if not ecstatic. So it is a most fundamental requirement. This is not happening. People are saying, this is the ultimate goal of life. Even so-called spiritual leaders are saying, peace is the ultimate goal of life. Such people will only rest in peace.